Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, I will read a gentle and emotional story for you. Please relax and listen quietly. The words are simple and clear. This story will help you improve your English listening. It will also touch your heart. Let us begin the story. I used to think I was good at reading people. I believed I could tell who was real and who wasn't. I trusted easily, smiled easily, let people into my life without thinking too much. And maybe that was my biggest mistake. My name is Daniel, and this is the story of how I learned the hard way that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. It started when I moved to a new city. New job, new environment, new people. I didn't know anyone. And honestly, I was a little nervous. The first few days were quiet. I kept to myself, focused on work, observed people from a distance, until one day, someone walked up to me. "Hey, you're new, right?" I looked up. He was smiling, confident, friendly, easy to talk to. "Yeah," I replied. "I'm Ryan." He shook my hand firmly. "Nice to meet you, man." That was the beginning. Ryan introduced me to others, helped me settle in, showed me around, and slowly, I started trusting him. We had lunch together almost every day, talked about life, goals, struggles. He seemed genuine, supportive, like someone who actually cared. And for the first time since moving, I didn't feel alone. But there was something I didn't notice back then, something small, something easy to ignore. He talked a lot about other people. At first, it seemed normal, office gossip, casual comments. But then I started noticing a pattern. Whenever someone wasn't around, he had something negative to say about them. "This guy is lazy. She pretends to work hard. You can't trust him." I didn't think much of it. I even agreed sometimes. Because when someone's nice to you, you don't question them. You believe them. Weeks passed, and our friendship grew stronger. Or at least, that's what I thought. One day, something happened that changed everything. I was working on an important project, a big one, something that could actually help my career. Ryan knew about it. I had shared everything with him, ideas, plans, strategies, because I trusted him. But then, during a team meeting, something felt off. My manager started talking about a new idea, an idea that sounded very familiar, too familiar. And then I realized it was mine, my exact idea, my exact approach, but it wasn't coming from me. It was coming from Ryan. I sat there in silence, trying to process what was happening. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe we just thought the same. But deep down, I knew the truth. He didn't even look at me, not once. And that's when it hit me. Not everyone who supports you wants you to win. Some people just want to stay close enough to take what they can. That day, I didn't say anything. Not because I was weak, but because I was learning, watching, understanding. Because sometimes the best way to identify fake people is not by what they say, but by what they do when they think you're not looking. And that was just the beginning. After that meeting, something inside me changed. I didn't confront him. I didn't argue. I didn't react. I started observing, quietly, carefully. Because once trust breaks, your eyes open. And that's when I started noticing things that were always there, but I ignored them. The first sign was simple, but dangerous. He was only there when it was convenient. When things were easy, he was around, laughing, talking, supporting. But when things got difficult, he disappeared. No calls, no messages, no support. That's when I realized something. Fake people love your good days. but they disappear on your bad ones. The second sign was even clearer. He loved attention. Every conversation somehow came back to him, his struggles, his achievements, his stories. Even when I shared something important, he would listen for a moment, then turn it back to himself. At first, I thought it was normal. Now I saw it clearly. Fake people don't listen to understand you. They listen to respond and take the spotlight. The third sign hurt the most. He supported me in private, but not in public. Alone, he would say, "You're doing great. I believe in you." But in front of others, silence. Or worse, subtle competition. That's when I understood. Real people support you everywhere. Fake people support you only when no one is watching. The fourth sign was jealousy. Not obvious jealousy, not loud, quiet jealousy. The kind hidden behind fake smiles. When something good happened to me, he would say congrats, but it didn't feel real. There was always something missing. Energy, warmth, genuine happiness. Because deep down, fake people don't celebrate your success. They compare it to theirs. The fifth sign was the most dangerous. He knew my weaknesses because I told him, trusted him, opened up to him, and he used that. Not directly, not obviously, but subtly. Small comments, small jokes, small remarks that hit exactly where it hurt. That's when it became clear. Fake people don't protect your vulnerability. They store it and use it when needed. And suddenly, everything made sense. The gossip, the behavior, the meeting, the energy. It was all there from the beginning. I just didn't want to see it. Because sometimes we don't get fooled by others. We fool ourselves. We ignore red flags because we like the person. We justify behavior because we don't want to feel alone. And that's exactly what I did. But not anymore. Now I was watching, understanding, learning. Because identifying fake people is not about one big moment. It's about patterns, repeated behavior, consistent actions. And once you see those patterns, you can't unsee them. The hardest part? Accepting that someone you trusted was never real to begin with. The moment I decided to confront him, I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel emotional. I felt clear. Not the kind of clarity that comes from winning, but the kind that comes after you finally accept the truth. I had seen enough, heard enough, understood enough. I wasn't confused anymore. That evening, I found him sitting alone, scrolling his phone like nothing had ever happened, like everything was normal. I walked up to him, slowly, calmly. "Ryan," I said. He looked up, smiled, that same familiar smile. "Hey man, what's up?" For a second, I just looked at him, trying to understand how someone could act so normal after everything. "We need to talk," I said. Something in my tone must have changed because his smile faded just a little. "About what?" he asked. I pulled a chair and sat across from him. "About the project." There was a pause, short but heavy. "What about it?" he said, trying to stay casual. I leaned slightly forward, not aggressive, just direct. "You presented my idea." Silence. For a moment, he didn't say anything, didn't look at me, just stared at the table. Then he laughed, lightly. Come on, man, it wasn't just your idea. That sentence, that one sentence, it told me everything. Not denial, not apology, deflection. I nodded slowly. You're right, I said. It wasn't just my idea. He looked up, slightly confused. Maybe he thought I was backing down. But it started with me, and you know that. Now he didn't smile. His face changed. Not guilty, not ashamed, defensive. Why are you making a big deal out of this? He said. It's teamwork. I stayed calm. Teamwork, I repeated, and then I said something I had been holding inside for days. Teamwork doesn't mean taking credit and staying quiet when it matters. He shifted in his seat. You're overthinking this, he replied. And that's when I realized something important. Fake people don't admit. They minimize. They twist. They make you feel like you're the problem. But this time, I didn't fall into that trap. I'm not overthinking, I said calmly. I'm just seeing things clearly now. There was a long silence between us. And for the first time, he didn't have anything to say. So I continued. You talk about people behind their backs. You disappear when things get hard. You support me in private, but stay silent in public. Each sentence felt like truth being placed on the table. And now this, I added. He looked away, frustrated, cornered. You're taking this too seriously, he said again. I smiled slightly, not out of happiness, but out of understanding. No, I said, I just didn't take it seriously before. That hit him. I could see it, because now the situation had changed. I wasn't confused anymore. I wasn't emotional. I was aware. And awareness is something fake people can't control. I trusted you, I said quietly. That sentence didn't come from anger. It came from truth. And that's on me, I added. He looked back at me, maybe expecting more, maybe waiting for an argument. But I was done. I'm not here to fight. I'm just here to understand and move on. And that's when his expression changed again. Not confident anymore, not defensive, uncomfortable. Because fake people are strong when you're confused, but weak when you're clear. So what now? He asked. I stood up. Now? I said. I looked at him one last time. Now I stop expecting real things from fake people. And with that, I walked away. No shouting, no drama, no revenge, just distance. Because sometimes the strongest confrontation is not about proving them wrong, it's about choosing yourself and leaving without looking back. After I walked away from him, everything felt quiet, not peaceful, not immediately, just empty. Because when you remove fake people from your life, you don't just lose them, you lose the routine, the conversations, the presence you got used to. And that silence can feel heavy at first. There were moments I questioned myself. Did I overreact? Was I too harsh? Maybe I should have just ignored it. That's the dangerous part. Even after seeing the truth, your mind tries to go back to comfort. But deep down, I knew. Peace is better than fake connection. Days passed, and slowly that silence started changing. It didn't feel empty anymore. It felt calm. No gossip, no fake energy, no hidden tension, just space. And in that space, I started hearing something I had ignored for a long time, my own thoughts. For the first time, I wasn't influenced by someone else's negativity. I wasn't distracted by unnecessary drama. I wasn't explaining myself to anyone. I was just me. And that's when real growth began. I started choosing people more carefully, not based on how friendly they seemed, but based on how consistent they were. I paid attention to actions, not words, because I learned something important. Real people don't prove themselves with talk, they prove themselves with behavior. I met fewer people after that, but better ones. People who didn't gossip, didn't compete unnecessarily, didn't disappear when things got hard. People who were real. And the difference? It was obvious. Conversations felt lighter, energy felt cleaner, trust felt natural. No guessing, no overthinking, no hidden intentions, just honesty. I also became more protective of myself, not closed, not cold, just aware. I didn't share everything to everyone anymore. I didn't trust quickly. I didn't ignore red flags, because I understood something clearly now. Not everyone deserves access to you. And that realization changed my life. I became stronger, not physically, but mentally. I stopped seeking validation, stopped trying to please everyone, stopped explaining my boundaries, because real people respect them, and fake people expose themselves when you set them. One day, I saw Ryan again. Same place, same environment. He looked at me for a second, like he wanted to say something, but he didn't, and neither did I, because there was nothing left to say. No anger, no hate, just understanding. He was who he was, and I had finally accepted it. That's the thing about cutting fake people off. It's not about changing them. It's about changing your standards. And once your standards change, your whole life changes. You protect your energy. You value your time. You choose your circle wisely. And most importantly, you choose yourself. Looking back now, I don't regret meeting him because he taught me something valuable. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some come to teach you what to avoid. And once you learn that lesson, you move forward, stronger, smarter, clearer. Because in the end, it's better to walk alone than to walk with people who were never real. Not everyone who smiles with you is happy for you. Not everyone who stands with you stands for you. In life, you will meet many people. Some will support you, some will use you, and some will pretend to be something they're not. Your job is not to trust everyone. Your job is to learn, observe, and understand. Pay attention to actions, not words. Pay attention to consistency, not promises. Because real people prove themselves over time. Fake people expose themselves over time. And when you finally see the truth, don't ignore it. Don't justify it. Don't go back to it. Have the courage to walk away, even if it's hard, even if it feels lonely, because protecting your peace is more important than keeping fake people. Remember this, it's better to have a small circle of real people than a large circle of fake ones. At the end of the day, respect yourself enough to choose honesty over comfort and peace over fake connection. Because once you start choosing real, your life will naturally become better. Not everyone who smiles with you is happy for you. Not everyone who stands with you stands for you. In life, you will meet many people. Some will support you, some will use you, and some will pretend to be something they're not. Your job is not to trust everyone. Your job is to learn, observe, and understand. Pay attention to actions, not words. Pay attention to consistency, not promises. Because real people prove themselves over time. Fake people expose themselves over time. And when you finally see the truth, don't ignore it. Don't justify it. Don't go back to it. Have the courage to walk away, even if it's hard, even if it feels lonely, because protecting your peace is more important than keeping fake people. Remember this, it's better to have a small circle of real people than a large circle of fake ones. At the end of the day, respect yourself enough to choose honesty over comfort and peace over fake connection. Because once you start choosing real, your life will naturally become better.